Hi guys, welcome to the Marshall online demo for the Marshall AFD100. Some of you may be familiar with this amp as at NAMM 2010 we announced along with Slash that we would be trying to recreate the tone of the Appetite for Destruction amp, and we also had a dedicated website, AFD100.com, which is still up and running, where people have been able to look in at the progress of this amp. And so finally we're at the stage now where we have the completed unit, and these things are to be hitting the shops very shortly, if not already. Now, the main thing with this amp was to try, as I said, to try and recreate the classic tone that Slash had on that album, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding the original amp. So with a lot of work with our design team, we've pretty much nailed it. I think you'll agree when you hear this thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to look across the front panel, check out the features of this amp, because this amp has some very special features. Aside from it being a signature amp of any type, it has some new features to Marshall, which you may see in future products as well, which is very cool. And then we'll start to get some sounds going in a little while as well. So going along from left to right on the front panel, first off, after you've got Slash's logo, you've got your effects loop switch, followed by your power control, which we'll look at in more detail in a minute. Then you've got the classic presence, bass, middle, treble, master volume, and gain. At the end there, you've got this switch which says number 34 stroke AFD, because this amp is a two-mode amp. There's kind of two different gain stages to it, two different voicings. The first one is number 34, which is based upon Slash's post-Appetite for Destruction sounds, and then the AFD sound itself. You'll notice in playing as well, the number 34 sound is quite kind of vocally and middly, and has got quite a bite to it, whereas the AFD sound sort of takes that and is a little bit more, fills out more, and there's more gain in there as well. So something unique, the first thing that's unique to this amp is the power control just here. For many years, obviously, when you drop the volume on your amp, you lose tone, but not anymore, because the AFD100 has an inbuilt attenuation unit. It's an electronic attenuation, meaning that everything is controlled internally with the amp. And you can keep the master volume and the gain cranked up. As you can see here, I've got them set on 3/4, but you can turn the power control down and it will literally just reduce the amount of volume. You can go all the way from 100 watts when it's all the way up, right down to 0.1 of a watt when it's all the way down, which means this amp could equally be as good a practice amp as it is on a stage at a stadium or something like that. A couple of other cool features on this amp, which we'll look at towards the end of the demo, are firstly, it's self-biasing. So you can go through a procedure where the amp will self-bias itself. And also on the back, there is 4 indicator lights to represent each of the 4 valves to let you know if there's a problem with any of them at any time either. Talking of the valves, there's 6550 valves inside of here. And I think it's about time we've got some sounds going. So what I've done is I've set the EQs to about 7 each, as I said a minute ago, master and gain up on about 3/4. The power control I'm going to bring up to about here now, and this is on the number 34 sound. So straight away you can hear it's got that signature sound of Slash going on right there. I'm obviously using a Les Paul, which helps. And the power control, it's not really loud in this room. It's hard for you to tell, obviously, but you're still getting the sustain and stuff that you'd expect from it. This is mainly a dirty sounding amp, but you can reduce the gain on the 34 sound to clean it up a little. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the gain back up to 3/4, and I'm going to bring in the AFD tone itself, which you'll hear now is a lot more beefed up, great for solos and stuff like that. All right, so that gives you an idea of the sounds in the AFD100. But one thing that's very cool, as I said earlier, is this power control. So although you won't feel the full benefit of it watching this video, you'll want to check this out with the amp yourself. What I wanted to do was drop the power right down to 0.1 of a watt, just to show that even with the master and the gain still cranked up, you still get all the sound and stuff like that, as I was saying earlier. So this is now with the power control all the way down, all the way minimum. And so that's the sort of volume that you can talk over. It was that quiet, but you can bring it up. This is on about 1/4. I couldn't tell you exactly what wattage this is, but in the handbook it's laid out very clearly as to whereabouts the power control is, what exact wattage you're running. So this is now on 1/4 on the power control. And that still works across the board. If we go back to the number 34 sound. Still got all the guts to it, kind of thing. So that's pretty much the main front panel features of the AFD100. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take a closer look at the rear panel. On the rear panel of the Marshall AFD100, first off you've got your speaker outputs. Next up you've got your effects loop, send and return and mix. The effects mix can also be using an extra volume for the AFD, which can be engaged from the foot controller. Then you've got your bias trim control and bias fault indicator lights. One of these lights will light up if there's a problem with any of the output valves. And self-biasing the amp is very straightforward. You just hold down the effects loop control while powering the amp up. There's also the foot switch input. The foot switch that comes with the AFD100, you can change between number 34 and AFD modes, and also turn the effects loop on and off.
For more information on the Marshall AFD100, please contact your local Marshall dealer.